So, Matt, welcome to the podcast to break your chains from your 9 to 5. Glad for you to be here.
Thanks for having me, Ben. I appreciate it.
No worries. Right, we just start off. What business are you building online?
So I do high ticket affiliate marketing and also coaching consulting.
Right.
For individuals that are getting going online.
Cool. How long have you been involved in that?
So that's a funny question. So the best way to put it is I got my start in affiliate marketing in 2019.
Right.
But I really don't consider me starting legitimately until August.
Is this where you sort of dived into it and got interested, you think?
Well, so last year is when I really knew going into it, I'm all in this time. And I, right off the bat, invested in myself and got some coaching masterminds under where 2019, it was kind of a funky situation. I work business development for an addiction treatment center. It's the same place I got sober at in 2015, and they were bought out by a big hospital. And just because of that, there were some, I guess, organizational policies and things. And so I was let go within days. Like,
what, just told you ain't got a job anymore?
And I had just bought my house, and at the time I was not, I was living solo. And so I knew I need to find a way to get some money, right? Like, I got to pay my mortgage. I just bought this house.
Sink or swim time sort of thing. Yeah.
So I started just doing, using my skills that I had, like business wise in the area. I landed some like consulting gigs to get some money, but then that's how I dove in online. Right. And I knew of affiliate marketing, but.
So what made you think like you want to try something online rather than another job?
I just knew like the capabilities of technology, and that was kind of when COVID was.
Yeah, I guess everyone's at home anyway.
Just getting going, and so everything was becoming more and more virtual. I mean, some of the consulting like contract work I got was all virtual, and that's when it kind of clicked. Like, hey, dang, dude, like I'm making, $200 for doing an hour and a half work of work, with this company. What if I could just do this myself, and find ways to make money while I'm still here? And so that's how it got going. And just budget being tight of me essentially not having a job, right? And like trying to pay my mortgage and bills, and just being stubborn as shit.
That's sometimes a good thing, eh?
So I didn't want to really invest in anything. And a lot of it too is I didn't know who was legitimate online. I didn't know who to trust. I was just kind of
you got skeptical about it as well. Because what was your previous career like? So when you left school, what did you do for a living?
So I graduated from IU Business School. And I've always kind of done marketing more business development, like building relationships. So in a way I'd say sales, but to me, I don't really look at it as sales. It's just a lot of relationship building, really. Like I've found no matter what, I mean, yes, you have to have a good product or service you can offer, but I found more and more, and this, I graduated college in 2009. So I just learned more and more over the years that the biggest thing of why people use your services or product is because they like you, they build a relationship with you, they trust your opinion and your feedback, or they know you're going to take care of them, or, go out of your way to make sure they're taken care of if something happens, right? Yeah. So it's not so much about.
There's a bit of a roadmap sort of thing as well behind it.
Yeah. So I spent 6-7 months probably trying to learn affiliate marketing, YouTube. I was that guy.
Not the only one, I'll tell you.
So it took me probably, realistically, I'd say 4 to 6 months of me YouTube, video to video. I have the notebook here somewhere. I mean, I have like a whole notebook,
bunch of notes,
something like this, of notes, ideas. And, then I get confused because one person's talking about doing it this way. Somebody's talking about, no, you need a blog. And so I ended up just going the route, I'm going to do like the funnel. I'm going to build a landing page, try and build an email list. So I got on ClickFunnels, Luckily I kind of got lucky. I didn't realize it at the time, but a friend of mine I went to school with was like a 2 Comma Club winner. And I saw, because I saw him commenting in the Facebook group, like the ClickFunnels.
Were you still friends with him as well?
So he was like a year or two younger than me, but I went to college and stuff with his sister. And I mean, we've known each other for, at this point now, probably 20 years.
Cool.
We played sports together. So I look at his Facebook thing and I knew he moved to Texas, but I saw it said he was a 2 Comma Club winner and that he worked for ClickFunnels and he ran for a little bit the affiliate program, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked his brain and I kind of, he gave me a lot of good stuff when it came to the affiliate program.
An advantage then, yeah, definitely.
So I'm like, well, I'm doing ClickFunnels then, right? And so trying to buy a domain, connect the autoresponder and build a landing page. I was trying to do like all this fancy, super fancy.
Complicated, yeah, because you look at it and you think this is complicated because it's new. So you try and do every little detail.
Oh my gosh. So, it probably took me 4 to 6 months just to get like my first funnel up and running with the email connected. And then from there, though, I had a personal Instagram, never really used it. And I wasn't even really active on Facebook. If I was active on Facebook, everything was more geared towards my like recovery from addiction and sobriety kind of stuff. Cause I do a lot of stuff in my community with that. I've spoken at events and done things like that. So I didn't want to do the organic route or wasn't sure how. So I created a Facebook page where I was somewhat anonymous.
Right, yeah, like a business page and that, yeah.
I went straight to ads.
Right. So, you're laughing. I know why.
Yeah.
Go on, carry on. I've done it myself.
And it was a learning process. And so my email list kind of built up because I had a lead magnet. And I'll never forget, I pulled up somewhere on a Saturday night and I saw the notification that I made my first sale. And it was something on Digistore that's not even there anymore, but it was there at the time. And I remember showing my fiance at the time then, like, holy shit, it works, right?
This stuff
like,
works, yeah.
And I think it was, they bought the upsell. So I think I got $97 or something. But I never ran ads either. So that was a learning curve. And that was even more down the funnel of YouTube, trying to figure that out. Or joining all these Facebook groups, trying to learn. And after a few months of doing that, it was kind of a wash. Like I'd get sales, but then I'd have to be paying for the ads.
It's sporadic sort of thing, yeah.
It just evened out. And I really, in my mind, I felt like I spent so much time and energy trying to do this, but because I was not really building anything organically and not really having conversations with people, building relationships, I just kind of felt defeated or really frustrated. And so
burnt out, you maybe in a way.
So I just said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing it. So I paused the ClickFunnels and then shiny object syndrome, right? Then I got into, I can't remember the order of which I did these, but I got into options trading and then drop shipping.
Right.
And again, for both of those, I saw some results. And drop shipping, I'd say, I actually did invest in like a program for that. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like $1,000, $2,000, but it was enough to really help me get a good understanding. And my fiance actually helped me like put together the layout of that store. Cause what I promoted was diaper bags and like stuff as parents. So it was just something that I could relate to.
Familiar to you. Yeah. Having a young child.
And that was the first glimpse of like, for me, building, like being yourself and getting a following, because we had pictures of me, her, and our son on the site, like, hey, we're mom and dad.
So it's relevant to you as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I did that, I created an Instagram for that store and that business, created a Facebook page. And then I added stuff on Pinterest, like the Google Merchant Center. So I could show up on Google search. And then I did run a few ads with that. And so I started seeing some results, but again, it didn't, it wasn't enough, right? For what I was doing.
The effort you put into sort of thing, it wasn't building fast enough, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have the budget for ads, right? At least that's my thought on it. Like, unless
Hmm.
you have a badass person that's going to help you build your ad, like the creative and who specifically you're targeting and know how to do retargeting ads and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it can get pricey, right? Because it's just constantly testing.
You've got to have a budget to test, I think, haven't you, with ads?
Yeah.
To find out what doesn't work and when what to do when it doesn't work.
And I learned a lot on Facebook ads, honestly, like knowing, getting ads not approved because certain reasons or keywords in there or what you were doing. So I killed the ads and just said, you know what, like if stuff doesn't happen in the next 2 months, then I'm just going to close it. Well, then just organically at that point, from creating, all these Pinterest pins, putting everything in the Google Merchant Center, having the Facebook page, and then the Instagram next. And this was months later, maybe like 6 months later.
Right.
I think the organic part of it started to kind of
build a bit of traction. Yeah.
And so I kept saying, I'm just going to close it because, again, there's hidden costs in drop shipping people don't realize. You have the Shopify monthly fee. You have to have some kind of autoresponder for emails, for follow-ups, for when people subscribe.
Yeah.
Then I even added other stuff so people could track their packages. People could add reviews, with photos and stuff.
So you went all in with it, so you didn't dabble around. It wasn't just something you tried. It looks like you've set up a proper business. Yeah.
So, and I'd say in a way I kind of had a mentor. Like I did a little program with it, but then also teamed up with this dude who, does very well online, where he builds stores for people, helps them run ads, consulting services, check out what you have and tell you, hey, change this. And so, at the time I was thinking I'm all in with this. Right. But then I kept, if I didn't see enough results organically, I kept saying, I'm just going to close it. But then a few days right before the renewal for all the Shopify fees, I'd always get like, boom, like 4 sales real quick. And then I'd be like, okay,
we'll carry on. Yeah.
I'm not going to close it because I'm at least, I'm making $100. It's, so when I started to see like losing money on it is when I was going to pull out, but I kept seeing a little bit. And then beginning of last year, I got my job back. Same place.
Right. Oh, what, they phoned you up and offered you a position back?
Yeah. So it was the same boss that I had, and they got some stuff figured out after the acquisition and the merge. And so they asked me to come back. And it was an easy kind of transition in, same boss, same role.
Yeah.
So I came back beginning of last year, but then right before I started, I proposed and got engaged. And I knew I was doing that probably going into Christmas of 2020. So then between, the cost of the ring and us sitting down and taking the venue, and we are paying for everything ourselves.
So you sort of putting it out, I think this is adding up.
We put it down on an Excel spreadsheet. Hey, here's the venue. Realistically, this is the vendors for food, flowers, and we're looking at this number. Then we budget out all of our income, all of our monthly payments, and realistically, we looked at it and came to the conclusion, even if we cut out this expense, that stuff that we didn't need, there was realistically no way we were going to be able to pay for the wedding unless we brought in other income, right? Or took a loan out.
Yeah.
And so that was when it was like, okay, I need to get back into something else, right? And my fiance sells Mary Kay kind of on the side. She's not like hardcore into it. She just uses it. So figured, hey, I might as well sell it too. And so she makes a little bit here and there. And then she serves at the same place that's going to cater our wedding, the food. She serves there once a week. Wow. If she wants, just to make an extra, $200 or something. But when I decided to go back in this time, I knew I'm doing affiliate marketing, but I want to do like the high ticket space, and I'm going all out. Like the same way.
This is what made you think then I'm going to go into high ticket because I want to earn some good money rather than the $100 that you're doing with drop shipping.
Yeah. And so with the drop shipping, I officially closed that store in end of November because I had a couple sales come through. People ordered in November wanting it before Christmas, or one wanted it before a baby shower or something like that. And you know, it takes me 2 clicks, it's ordered, and then it ships the next day. And I don't know if it's because of COVID or what. One of the items was shipping to a military base on the West Coast.
Right.
And so my guess is it had to do with it shipped from somewhere else to the airport, and then they saw it's going to a military base. So they held it at the airport for like 9 days. My guess is probably inspecting, making sure it was legit.
Make sure it's all safe in there.
But that person and someone else, they started emailing me at the customer service like furious. And at that point, it's out of my control. Like, hey, it shipped, it landed like
Nothing
3 days later. I can't call the airport and say, what are you guys doing with this package? And then people were wanting refunds, this whole mess. And luckily I have a legal pages put together. I have an LLC. So I just had to direct them to this here. Hey, if you want to return, here's the processes that's on the site. And then after that, I just realized, I'm done.
This is a headache.
So,
I don't want this to happen again.
Yeah. And it was bittersweet, right? Because that was kind of my baby. I put it together, and I canceled the domain. I shut off the email. I deleted the social medias, and just, if you put in that website, it's not there now. It's just gone. Right. Which is kind of bittersweet, but it was a cool learning process.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
We take the positives out of it in a way, didn't you? Your learning curve.
So then, with the affiliate marketing, it was probably first week of August. And again, at this point, I knew how to build a landing page funnel. I knew how to set up and connect a domain. I knew autoresponders. So I kind of had the basics out of the way now, right?
You knew a little enough about it to say, right, yes, you could do this in a high ticket way. Yes.
But this go around, I knew I wanted to do it organically. Right. Like actually try and build a brand, build a following of people, but I wasn't sure how to do it. So again, I followed one specific person on YouTube for a couple of years and kind of watched their journey progress. And so I joined up with that person.
Right. So you knew this person for a little while, then you didn't just go, right, saw a Google ad and jump in. You sort of, your background, you knew this person and trusted him.
Yeah. So back in 2019, when I was trying to get going and learn some stuff, I found this person then, but at the time I didn't know much about them. Right.
Yeah.
But even though I pulled away from affiliate
marketing, must have planted a seed, eh?
I kept following all the social medias and the YouTubes and all this stuff. And I just kept seeing the process and seeing how much his accounts were growing and results and people they were helping. And so I knew right off the bat, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to, follow what this person's done. Right. And so that was kind of where I started. And it's crazy because in my mind, right, I was thinking I'm going to do all this because I need some extra money to help pay for the wedding. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'd start seeing good results. And then I'd get to a point where I felt like I was kind of, I don't want to say plateaued, but just stagnant a little more. So then it's like, okay, what do I need to do to get
to the next level?
And I just kept, I've connected myself to a lot of people that I feel like are where I want to be or doing things I want to do. Like,
maybe it's a good idea to see what you see somebody else that's doing really well. You think, I want to do as well as them. So you befriended them in a way.
Yeah. And I say this a lot, but a lot of my online business, what I do, a lot of what I've learned in my sobriety applies to my business. Like I always say, stick around the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. So if you're hanging around all these people that are doubting you or negative Nancy's, and that stuff subconsciously comes in and starts,
it does.
Sticking in there, and then you start doubting yourself, or you're hesitant on, I'm not going to post this because I don't want John Doe to
have an opinion.
For it. So I really thank God for my fiance because she's been my biggest supporter. And, I don't really give a shit what anyone else thinks or says, because at the end of the day, like if my fiance supports me, she's on board, cool, right? Like that's all I really care about.
The main thing is your family. And that's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
All those other people, they don't pay my bills. They don't, so I really had to like get that mindset in place first to really know, hey, I'm all in, and I just don't care what anyone else is going to say. People are going to think I'm crazy or question me, or you're scamming, whatever people say, like, oh,
there's a lot of people skeptical that don't understand it. Basically, if they don't understand it, makes them scared. It's what it works. It's a natural thing in life.
But and I think it's kind of funny because realistically, it doesn't matter what age you are. There's a lot of people. I have family. Shoot, my parents got on Facebook in the last couple of years to connect with old friends and stuff. But then just through the way the platforms run, right? Like they see an ad for something and they click. And I've tried explaining to people that technically somebody's getting money in their pockets from you clicking that and
how it works.
Like, that is essentially
how do you explain to people when they say, what do you do for a living? And you say affiliate marketing. How do you explain affiliate marketing?
So I'll say affiliate and digital marketing, because digital is online, and it's not all of what I promote is other people's stuff. I provide some of my own services as well.
Right.
The best way I can do it is I explain to people like Amazon, because that's just people know Amazon.
Yeah.
Or like referral programs like Chase Bank. I've banked with Chase my whole life, since I was 16 or however. They send emails all the time. Refer a friend to Chase, and if once something, you'll get $500. I'm like, that's basically affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
And you sign up to certain things or companies where you use their services. You're in their system on their email list, so you get all these emails about
why we get all these emails as well. Yeah.
Like that's essentially kind of what I'm doing, right? People that get engaged, and then I'm trying to help them with wherever they're at, whatever problems they're struggling with. And the way I do it now, again, when I did affiliate marketing 3 years ago is a little different, but the way I've been doing it now, I only promote stuff that I use or that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
I think there might be
a way sort of thing you can give a good feedback from it.
It's because it can be hard. I'm not saying you can't do. I know people that promote stuff that they're not really a part of, and maybe they just are very good at like closing a sale and getting people to get hyped up about it and think it's gonna. Again, that's just a little more difficult for me to do, because if people ask questions, I can't. I don't want to give people bullshit and say, oh, it's gonna, when I don't know, right? Like I don't even know.
If you don't do that, you can't give a comment on it.
Yeah. So there might be one or two things I promote right now that I don't currently use, but I have used them at one point. And I saw it here the other day. I wrote down a list of all the things I actually promote.
All the courses and maybe the tools that you've used.
So I don't know if you can see that. There's a list of all the different things. It's summer programs, softwares. Like I use Calendly to schedule my events and things like. They have an affiliate program, so why not?
Everything does, doesn't it? Yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah. I mean, Zoom has an affiliate program. I mean, any and everything you can think of has some kind of referral program, affiliate program. And I don't promote, certain stuff I just promote back end, like, because people will see they schedule a calls with Calendly, or they're like I do a lot of my stuff live with StreamYard.
Yeah.
And they have an affiliate program. So, and I've tried various ones like what's the one, Screencast-O-Matic or OBS.
Yeah, I don't know, there's a few out there, isn't there?
I've tried different things. I used Aweber at one point, then I switched to something else. Now I'm with GetResponse. Obviously ClickFunnels, so different things like that. But when I finally got my mindset right, everyone else out the way I don't care, I started seeing some results. And then it's been kind of crazy because it wasn't my plan, but so I started August. Started all over, completely scratch. I bought a new domain, new email responders, email list at 0. I never had TikTok, so created a TikTok.
Right.
Created a Instagram, Slowly started to optimize my Facebook, and then I never had a Facebook group either. So I created my group, I think, end of September.
Yeah.
And I'm at 500 something members right now.
Cool.
But then it was almost like every month I reinvested into something else.
Yeah. So did you reinvest on your way up in a way? So I think every step you took and made progress, did you think, right, I'm going to reinvest that?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I've been chipping away at expenses of stuff. And hopefully my fiance never sees this video because
that's the wedding fund.
One of the things I invested in September, and this is probably one of the last times I've used any of my credit cards in the last like 6 months, because I've just been paying stuff down with how I've been doing online. I made some payments for stuff on the wedding, but then I also knew I wanted to invest in this 12-month thing, right? And so, but I knew if I used some of this money from one of our accounts, she would see it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pay that, and I'm just going to put this on my credit card, right? And so, and like the beauty of it, and this is where I tell people, like, you have to look at it as it's an investment and what returns do you get on it, right? It's not an expense, because I was able to pay that back off in full in less than 2 months. And you know what I mean? Like, everything since then is just purely profit. And now I have the skills to take with me forever. That's what
I think a lot of people don't see that with a high ticket training course. They say, right, it's £2,000 or it's £5,000. That's expensive. You don't realize that you can promote that over and over again. And when you've made your investment back, you don't necessarily stop there. Carry on.
It's, and then not to mention, I still have access to everything inside that till end of September this year. So I still have 8 months, right?
Yeah.
I've already made the investment back plus some.
Yeah.
That has allowed me to then reinvest again. I think it was end of November. I reinvested into more.
So it's about smart investing in a way, by the sounds of it. It's smart in the way you're using the money.
Yeah. And it was each one I hopped in, I knew it could help me get to the next level where I see where I want to go and what I want to do. And these people are doing that. But it wasn't just a random person I found online. It was people that I had been following. We had multiple conversations. I knew other people that have hopped on with these programs or people. And so I had the seed was there, but it took me probably a few weeks. That last one was almost probably 2 months before I actually pulled the trigger.
Right.
And I just had multiple conversations. And then when I saw some stuff really happening.
What do you think held you back from pulling the trigger on something?
Paying for the wedding.
Yeah, I suppose. Your fiance clipping you.
For real, like really paying for the wedding. Because if I didn't have that there, I probably would have hopped on sooner. But it was eventually I just had to pull the trigger, because I was at that same spot where I see a lot of people tell me as well, where, hey, once I start seeing some more results and I get here, then I'll hop in. And I was kind of there too. Like, I was making good, consistent, like multiple $1,000 months. But I in my mind, I'm like, okay, like I want to get to 10,000.
Yeah. I want to advance.
And I feel like these last 3 months now, I've just been like here, you know, and I want to,
the thing, you can stay consistent, can't you? But this is not cool can being consistent. You want the whole reason you maybe tried this, started this online business because you want to go up. Not like this. You can do this at McDonald's.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's always constant learning, leveling up, trying new things. You know, I've learned, I joked about it. I went to college, my diploma, my degree is sitting right there. And I love and hate that thing at the same time, because I mean, that could be a whole nother podcast episode.
But don't you think that your diploma there, what you've got, is molded you who you are today, to make you determined in the business what you're building online?
It is. It has, right? Like me going away on my own. And I mean, I worked full time in college too.
Right.
Making I don't remember what I made at the job I had because I'd been there for so many years there. I got promoted. It was like a little restaurant.
Cool.
I was making maybe 12, 13 bucks an hour,
Mhm.
which isn't bad. But I worked crazy hours and going to school. So like it definitely developed this like independence work ethic. But then even then I still leave with 50, 60,000 in student loans.
Yeah, this is
the money I made was just to help cover my rent and because they know all these students are going to move into these homes on campus with leases, they charge outrageous prices because if I don't buy it,
because you ain't got a choice, sort of thing. You got to live near campus. Yeah. And then just text. I mean, my junior and senior year, I learned from my first 2 years, I didn't even go buy any of my textbooks for my classes because I buy them, barely even use them. Not necessarily needed if you go to class. And then when the semester was done and you go to sell them back, they're like, oh, we're switching to a different It's a different edition now. Yeah.
You're not even getting any money back. And so my junior and senior year, I didn't even buy books.
And you still got your diplomas. So I could see. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're right in that sense. Like it did help build some character and work ethic and in a way, like real life experience. But the part, I guess I disagree that I just have a different viewpoint on that in the frame today is I don't necessarily agree. Okay. Yes. If you're a doctor, dentist, anesthesiologist, something like that. Yes. You need to have that kind of experience and knowledge and going through residency and all that stuff. Cause I mean, you have like very serious people's lives are in your hands, right? That's not something you can learn just from hands-on experience. But like business development, marketing, sales stuff, things like that. I disagree with the fact that like somebody could have started their own business when they were 18 years old and been an entrepreneur their whole life, never went to college, dropped out of high school, have way more knowledge and experience and skills that I have. But then they go to apply for like a corporate job. And when they see like, oh, they didn't go to college.
See where you're coming from.
They're not even getting the interview. In my mind, I'm like, that is so stupid.
When maybe this young person with all the experience could make your company a lot better. That's the thing. They value, our society, I think, it values a bit of paper to say, hey, I'm qualified a lot more than the actual experience that you got.
Yeah. And I think it was 2 weeks ago, I think it was Russell Brunson somewhere on one of his social medias. He had a video I watched where he talked about that, or a podcast interview where he said when he hires people to come work for ClickFunnels, he could give two shits about whether or not they have a degree. It's all about their experience,
what you can do,
what skills they have, and if they feel it's a good fit and they can help. Has nothing to do with. And I just agree with that, right? I just do because I feel like
it's proved so many times in my life as well. Because I've met working as an electrician. I used to work a year, 2 years ago now, and people used to come along, have more qualifications than me, but be rubbish. Because I did this course and it was 6 months. Like, hang about, I went to college for 4 years and I've been working in the industry for 20 years, but you're more qualified than me. How's that work? Yeah, like, come on.
Yeah, I'll say it, the place where I work now, I had a different business development sales job, but I knew that after that first year I got sober, I wanted to go back and work in that field, like addiction, recovery, treatment. So I just had to get my foot in the door, and I didn't get right on the business development marketing team. I was like on the floor working with patients and doing stuff like that.
Get your hands dirty.
So I basically took the pay that I was making at my current job and cut it in half to come back and work. And I just at the time I didn't care because I was just miserable doing what I was doing, but I had good money. But I just looked at it as, okay, well, if I can still pay my rent and that, like, I'll do it. I'm sure I can work my way up. Like that's how it works there. Right. And so sure enough, that's what happened. I worked my way up a few times, but there was at one point I had a position where I was still in the facility working with patients, but it was just a little different role. And because I had my degree, that allowed them to be able to pay me X amount of money when I got that first promotion. But yet there was somebody else there who I consider a good friend and mentor of mine, who has way more experience than me doing this. Came, originally from Hawaii, did this stuff there, just has so much experience and knowledge, but because he doesn't have a degree and he's worked in this field way longer than I have.
Yeah.
And like, he's one of those guys where even today, if I go hear him speak somewhere or something, I'm sitting there soaking it all in because that's just how good he is. But I'm sitting there making more than this person because of that thing hanging on the wall. And I guess, and I think that's what sucks people into that, is because they know that's how the system operates.
That's how the society is. Definitely.
I don't know. I've mixed feelings on it, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have got a different opinion on it. I feel the same. I share the same opinion as yourself. Like I went through college for years to learn a trade that I think I didn't really necessarily need to. If I worked at that job for years, I'd probably be better. This is the thing. Yeah, learn mistakes there.
So I talked to somebody about this in an interview that I did, I think a week or two ago, and then I made a TikTok about it. But if I would have known right after high school I wanted to start my own business and be an entrepreneur, I probably never would have gone to college. Yeah. Right? I would have just found somebody that started a business or did something like that and whatever, started at the bottom and just learned.
I think so many youngsters these days are actually doing it as well. Yeah. That are like, there's a 14-year-olds that have discovered NFTs and they've made $400,000. Well, you're like, whoa, hang about. It's more than I've ever made in a year. He's made it in a month.
I know a 14-year-old right now. He may be 15 now, but I just through connections I've made and affiliate marketing and like coaching consulting, I got introduced to this kid. He's 14 or 15 years old. That sun's like right in my face. Let me see. But he was doing affiliate marketing, and then it's like so impressive for his age. So he was doing affiliate marketing, I think legendary. And then he started to build good organic following, specifically on Instagram. He had acquired very, very good like Photoshop skills, and Instagram's just
because they're brought up with it, aren't they? These kids at that age, they're brought up with all these social media, so they know exactly how to do it, what buttons to press.
Yeah. So instead of then really just focusing on the affiliate marketing as the primary, he still promotes that stuff through his ecosystem, but then he got with somebody else and he tweaked what he was doing. And now he is like an Instagram content, coach with strategy and And so he's
15, you say?
I think he's 14 still.
Brilliant.
So he like built out a 4 or 8 week program that people can join where he does calls and all this stuff, or you can pay him to have him run your account. I mean, the kid's 14.
I know, it's a thing. It's crazy, isn't it?
At 14, I was like sneaking around smoking cigarettes and weed.
This
is
the thing, yeah.
it's
the
just
times
like,
have changed.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the possibilities of what you can do today it's endless. And you see, I follow a lot of people online now that are successful, millionaires who have grown their own businesses. And a lot of them say that same thing. Like, and I don't like try to come across harsh. I'm just trying to be realistic with it. But if people, like, if you really want something bad enough, right? You will find a way to make
it happen.
Make it happen, right?
This is the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'll get lucky. This will work out eventually." Things that luck doesn't exist too much. You bring your own luck. I think you've got to work your steps towards it.
I don't remember the saying, but somebody said like, "What's luck?" is like preparedness meets opportunity, or something like that. Is their definition of luck? Something like that. But just. People even, let's say you're trying to take a little starter program, $40.
Yeah.
People say, oh, well, I don't have time, or I don't have any money. It's like, you're telling me you can't find a way to go make $40 extra in a month. I could go right now, and I bet you if I really wanted to, we just got our first like official snow. You know, there's a lot of people on my street, super nice, but they're retired. I guarantee you, I could go around and just knock on doors and tell people like, hey, once this gets clear, like I'll shovel your driveway, $10 bucks, $20 bucks. Or, you know, friend of mine is like a part owner.
So many simple ways,
friend of mine's a part owner with a moving company. And I already know if I needed extra cash, I could call him and just go help load trucks and move. You know what I mean? Like there's so many ways. Yeah. Yes, you're going to have to take a day out of your week, get up early, stay up late, whatever. But if you're not willing to do those stuff, then it just means like you don't really want it. Right.
Yeah, exactly. You want someone to give you it, basically. Things don't people don't give things away like stuff like that. You don't get them for free. Things don't come for free. This is the real world.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a crush to our own like pride and ego. I mean, I had somebody, this is unrelated. Again, this is to like my sobriety and stuff. Like I'm still very active in that. I go to stuff every week and I have my sponsor who mentor essentially, right? Like somebody that is where I want to be. He's got a family. He's been sober. He's happy. He started his own business, not online, but just here in the area. And he does very well. But he told me something. We met last Tuesday night and we were going over stuff and he told me something. And in my head, you know, I wanted to like have this excuse, but I ended up telling him something and he just kind of looked at me and I was like, I know. I'm like, that at the end of the day, that's really just a fucking excuse, right? Like if I want
called you out on it.
If I want to do that and get better at that and have like a little bit of alone time to myself where the kid's not bugging me and my fiance, the only real possibility for me to do that is then I need to get up at 5:30 in the morning before the kid is up, before my fiance is up and moving and the dog's running around. That's just realistically, right? For me, that's how I would have to do that if I wanted that hour just by myself in the mornings. Because once the kid's up, then the dog's up off the bed.
The mind's elsewhere,
Then you know what I mean? Like it's impossible to. And then even in the evenings, the kid climbs out of the bed. It's
hectic.
The rest of the day, even though I could have a whole schedule written out, it means nothing, right? Because at any point, the daycare could call and say, "Hey, Ezra fell and busted his head. You need to come pick him up," or he's throwing a fit at night, or he gets sick, or something happened. Like there's the schedule for the rest of the day is pretty.
Gets twisted sort of thing.
Yeah. So the only realistic solution to that is okay. I either work on stuff and do it first thing in the morning and get up before everybody else, or I wait till everybody's asleep. Right. And then I come sneak here in the office and do some stuff. And I mean, that's just it. That's
the way it's got to be. Yeah.
And I know that, and at times it's still hard for me because then in the back of my head, like, well, I'll be able to do that. And I'm like, okay, how many times have you said that? And then shit happens and it doesn't happen. You know, like it doesn't work out.
You put it off. Yeah.
So that's why when people say they don't have time or they don't have, I
don't make time, man. Yeah.
I don't say it to be rude or be an asshole. I just say it to,
reality,
like let people see like how bad do you really want it, right? Because if you're going to sit here and tell me like, well, I have kids and I don't have time and I work, it's like, okay, I have a kid too. I'm planning a wedding. Like that's the nightmare. And technically I still have my full-time job. I have not left that job yet.
But you're working towards the future sort of thing. You're making time.
Yeah, and there's a few things that have kept me there, mainly because we're all on my healthcare. They match really well on my retirement, like very well. But like the big thing is we can't enroll into my fiance's healthcare until like a certain point of the year, right?
Right.
And so if I was to leave our health coverage now, we'd be going months without health insurance, and I don't really care about me, whatever, but I can't have I can't have our little guy with no insurance. So just little things like that. And also it does help knowing I have two essentially full-time incomes coming in right now to help pay for the wedding.
Yeah, especially you got a wedding to pay for as well.
Well, we officially we have 103 days to the wedding and we officially have everything down to I believe under $2,000. Honeymoon, wedding, everything.
Right.
Which is crazy.
But that's good planning. That's good money planning. That's a good way to get around it.
That just goes to the show. Like, her and I made the decision last January. I started doing stuff online, really got serious into this in August. And just since August doing this, it has helped, I mean, tremendously. And then even her, like, she wanted to do stuff. I mean, she sold her Mary Kay. She started serving on Friday nights. She had her stash of money from all her tips, like, put aside and hidden in the closet. She pulled it out 2 weeks ago and counted it. And I would have never thought that's how much money she made in tips over like a 2-3 month span, just one night a week for 5 hours. I mean, it was like multiple thousands of dollars. And I'm sitting there thinking, so just like that example right there, her and I both know, okay, this is what we need to do. This is where we want to go. We're gonna
You've got your end goal in sight.
We're going to have to sacrifice Friday nights. Like, I mean, my Friday nights for the last 3 or 4 months have been her going and working after her full-time job, straight to that. I have our son by myself. I put him to bed around 8 o'clock, and then I hop on my Facebook Lives once I put him to bed.
Right.
Like, that's just been our Friday. So she goes to her job.
So you made time in a way to run an online business.
Yeah. And that, I know that's kind of an odd time for a Facebook Live, because it's Friday night, like, people want to go out and whatnot, but I also look at it as, hey, that for me, that's really the best time.
Yeah, that's convenient for me. But the thing is, you're like, when you're online as well, you do it for all over the world. Like, what's the time there now? 11 o'clock. 4 o'clock over here. So it doesn't matter. Like, time doesn't matter too much, I don't think, for when you put your content out online.
Yeah. And so just little things like that, like having to stay committed. And again, there's times where, you know, I got all these books. I don't know if you can see them. I finally got, like, now I have more coming. I have a bunch of Dan Kennedy books coming, but I got all these, and, you know, I've been reading. And
if you got the trilogy, you must have the audio set with it as well.
I don't. So that was a gift from my fiance. And I didn't really tell her to get the audio, although it would have been sweet.
I don't know if they come with it or not, you know. I think they might. So if she's used her email to buy it, she probably got emailed the audio.
I don't know. I'd have to ask her. I don't know. I think she bought it on Amazon. I should have told her, like, you should have bought through my own affiliate link.
Yeah.
But I didn't know she was getting those, because I told her, don't get me anything for Christmas. Like, I don't need anything. There's nothing I absolutely need.
You're marrying me. That's good enough.
Yeah. And, like, we're still paying for the wedding. So don't, like, so she kept telling me, like, there's got to be something. And so I don't remember, trying to think of what else she got me. Undershirts, like new underwear. But then I was just thinking realistically, like, what could she get me that's not super expensive that I'll
evaluate.
So I just gave her all these books. Give me all the books. That's all I want. But there's so much stuff that I've seen in the books and just online where successful entrepreneurs, I mean, they will point blank tell you, like, if you really want to do this, you almost
got to put the effort in.
Be obsessed, right?
Got to geek out. Russell Brunson says that you geek out on it all the time. You got to geek out on it as well. Yeah.
And so, and I think the way I perceive it is when they say you got to be obsessed with it is, I don't even think it's really so much obsessed. It's, you have to really enjoy what you're doing to the point where you can spend all that time on it, right? Because it's not, you know what I mean? Like, if you hate your job, you're not going to want to
be there.
Yeah. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be doing all this stuff. But when you really enjoy what you're doing, it's just a lot easier to spend all this time doing it, because it doesn't feel like it. And my fiance, it's like a love-hate with it. She supports me. She sees these results I have. And, you know, I remember, I think it was November, I had like one of the best starts to a month I've ever had. And I sent her a screenshot of something that came through when I was sitting here working one day. And I sent it to her while she was at work. She thought it was a screenshot of the payout I got from October from something. Right. And I said, no, like, that's what I just
This is another one.
today, like today. And so that was when I think she really saw like the
potential in it.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap. And she knows I actually am trying to help people, right? Like I have people I do Zoom coaching calls with, people that send me stuff that they're super excited about that I've been helping them with. I mean, she knows people now by name that it's crazy. People I've never met like in person.
All over the other side of the world and stuff.
But I talk to them almost every day, right?
Yeah.
And so I do Zoom calls, or sometimes I'll just give them my phone number and we'll text message or Facebook Messenger, and she'll ask now like, oh, who are you talking to? And I'll tell her the person's name, like, oh, I'm talking to Ronnie. And like Ronnie's out in California. I met him like 4 months ago. But it's funny because she like knows who these people are now because I talk to them so much.
Yeah.
But then it gets to a certain point though where she'll tell me, like Saturday, we had a night without our son. My parents took him.
Mm-hmm.
And so she decided, hey, like we've been figuring all this wedding stuff out, and this like we're having a date night.
Right.
I
could have a bit of time out as well. I
had to shut my phone, not look at my phone, not do nothing. And for me, it was tough because I have people messaging me, asking me questions, and I just want to help them, right?
Your head's going all the time, yeah.
And so I snuck away at date night when I went to the restroom, and I looked at my phone and I'm like, oh shoot, I made, $50 just, and I didn't do anything. It was somebody I talked to earlier in the week, and I saw like something went through. And so I came back and I had to tell her,
you rubbish at your excitement then. You told her straight away.
I was like, I know you didn't want me looking at my phone. I'm like, but what I just paid for us to get in here and this and that. I'm like, I just made that back. I'm like, I got a sale, somebody signed up. And she was kind of happy, but gave me that look like, are you freaking
told you
serious?
not to take your phone.
That's what you did when you went to the bathroom. I'm like, sorry. So it's, but I've learned it is important to like shut off.
Yeah.
So one of the people I'm working with right now where I could potentially see myself staying with, being a part of that long term, just because I've learned so much, right?
Yeah.
And
you're gonna carry on the traction sort of thing, yeah.
The way they operate their business and do their things is what drew me in, because I really like how they do it and I relate to it, where I want to be myself and I don't want things to be. A lot of people get into online affiliate marketing and think everything has to be done a certain way, and like you have to
pretend to be someone else and like that. Yeah, put this persona out that you're not.
Yeah, like import these funnels, use these emails, and it's done. I just have, again, I've dabbled in enough things and taken enough stuff that I have found
to make your own path.
Yeah, I have found I've had the best results when I'm just myself. Like there's been some of the best email open rates I've gotten that have caused the most engagement, or posts online on Facebook, like long form content, is stuff where in a way it's almost as if I'm typing it in a hurry, like knowing, hey, I gotta,
because it's your actual words. Yeah, and this is why people have signed up to your list, maybe because they get on with you, so they know that it's you talking to them. Yeah,
and so I did. The first two that come to mind was a post I did on Facebook maybe a week or two ago, and then an email back in November. But I sat down and just kind of knew like the basis of what I was going to talk about. And I just started typing, right? Because in my mind, I feel like I'm not the best copywriter.
Right.
But I've had others tell me differently, right? And so I typed out this email and just kind of reread it, made sure like, okay, it flows okay, like whatever. I'm just sending it, right? I'm just sending it.
Going for it.
And I send it, and somebody on my email list who's in my Facebook group messaged me like 5 minutes later, and they're like, dude, did you write that email? Like, yeah. He's like, dude, that was badass. And so then I'm like, holy shit, right? And so
it shows, doesn't it, that you could always do.
Email. But that's what draws people in. And that's one thing I try and teach people that I work with, that I'm trying to help them grow their online business is, hey, yeah, like I get you just want to get things up and running and you want to take these done for you emails and copy and paste them, but that's not your story, right? Like you're promoting this person's course and their emails talk about how they left their job and they're making 7 figures and they paid cash to buy their car. I'm like, but that's not that's not you, and that's
No.
not your story, right? So
Definitely. I think it's getting a lot more like that online as well now. Like you see a lot of people that maybe have got yachts, or I heard today that there's another guy that lands in a helicopter and goes through a roof and sits at a table with a shed load of money. Well, that's fantastic. But how do I get that? How do I get there? This is the thing. You've got this, you've got that. Brilliant. Proud of you. But how do I do it? This is what you want to know.
Yeah. And it's no, I've just found, again, I try to look back. Okay, where was I 6 months ago? Where was I 2 years ago when I first was trying to do this? And what made me want to work with this person, and what made me start to trust that person, right? And it's they were just real, right? Like I'm nobody special. I live like outside of the city by cornfields and in Indianapolis, and like I'm a dad, you know.
People relate to people though, don't they?
Yeah, like I drive a 19-year-old car because it doesn't have many miles. It runs great. I don't care to have a car payment. You know what I mean? Like I don't have this fancy 3,000 square foot home.
Relatable person. And people that are similar to yourself think, hey, I want to talk to someone like that who's like me. Yeah. And I want to talk to this guy that goes around in the helicopters and Ferraris with 7 girls hanging off the back. Like, hey.
Well, that's not even like, for me, if I had to like say like this would be awesome, I would love to have a house with like 10 acres, right? And like
couple of camels.
I'm from the Midwest, so like when I'm driving down country roads and I see like a big little farmhouse down the out there with the driveway and like some cornfields, and like for me that's like I could sit all day on a patio. I could cover porch patio with the
reading
computer,
a book,
look out, like away from the city, right? Because that's like for me, that is one of like the most relaxing things, is like seeing the sunrise or sunset. Like my fiance, her family's from the west, like an hour west of the city, in like small towns that have 1 or 2 stoplights. And so when we go out there, I love it. We sit on our aunt and uncle or grandparents' patio, and there's not much around, so there's not all these street lights and city lights. You can see the stars.
Yes, lovely when you look up. No light pollution.
Like for me, that's what I want.
That's
I want like 10 acres where the dogs can run around, and like I can get a 4-wheeler or go shoot some of my guns like on my property, and like like I don't really care for like the Lambos and all that. Like I want to.
The Lambos will get stuck in the mud. Like you don't need one of them.
I want a truck so I can put a snowplow on it and
help the neighbors clear all their drive really easy.
Yeah, but that's the other thing I've learned as well, is everybody, and this is why I try and teach people this as well, and why it's so important to know, like, craft your ideal client, right? And like really know who it is you want to be talking to. Because it helps you dial in your content, right? Because I have people, I asked somebody a few weeks back, well, who are you trying to target? Well, people who want to make money. I'm like, that's very broad.
Yeah, quite broad, man. That's pretty 99% of the population.
Yeah. Because then people look at it, especially if you're new, and I get it, but people think when you get more specific, like you're taking away all these potential customers and leads, but really by you narrowing stuff down, you're going to start talking traction because your content is going to stick more for those people. So some people, I've worked with people who like their 9-to-5 job. They make very good money. They just wanted, an extra $500,000.
A side hustle. Yeah.
But then there's other people who hate their job and they want out. Or there's people who have had a significant life event injury where they're on disability and they're stuck at home and can't really go and do stuff. So they're trying to find a way to create some kind of income from home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody's end goal can be a little different. Some people just want to be able to be at home with the kids, right? And
spend more time with the family.
Work when they want, or it could be a stay-at-home mom or dad. They don't really need the money, but it would be nice to have a little bit of extra. So it could be different for everyone, right?
Yeah, there's plenty of different scenarios.
Yeah. And so, I want the one person I'm working with, technically like our one-on-one stuff has lapsed. Like we've gone through that time frame, we've utilized all that, but I still keep in touch with the person, right? And
because you become friends along the way as well, then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. Super nice dude. And it gets me excited because when we first started, they found me on TikTok, and the person had never posted anything. They didn't even have a photo on TikTok. It was one of those like user 57524, like they didn't even. So at first I'm thinking like this person's spam, whatever.
Yeah, it's fake, man. It's gonna send me somewhere wrong.
So then they kept bugging me, and so then I just said, well, dude, like hop in my Facebook group. Let's chat on Facebook, right? Because I feel like I'm looking at the guess
see you then, yeah.
I feel like I'm looking at the guess who board of like the question mark. I want to know who I'm talking to or something. And so we moved it to Facebook, and I started talking to the person. Then I just gave them my phone number, and we did a Zoom or FaceTime. And we just chatted, and then we kind of just hit it off, right? And
sometimes you just get on with people, don't you?
Yeah. And so they let me know right off the bat, like, hey, I don't know anything about the online stuff, but if you're willing to be patient with me, whatever you think's a reasonable rate, I'll pay you this much for you to, show me the ropes and help me get going.
Yeah.
Because I've been following you since you started, and I've been seeing what's been happening online, but you got to be patient with me because I don't know squat, right? And so I just said, okay. I said, okay. And they had to go out and buy a laptop.
That's how new they were. Like, I want to do this, but I know very, so your first step was get yourself a computer.
Yeah. So I don't want to say they weren't tech savvy. They just very blue collar, and everything else they did was just from their phone, paying bills, and they didn't really need
a laptop.
And so I let them know computer's probably best. Like there's certain things that are just way easier on a computer.
You can get done. There's a lot of things as well that I noticed lately as well. Like there's sort of features on Facebook and things you can only do on your phone. And on TikTok, actually, you can't really do it on a laptop.
Yeah, you're right. Certain features are different. But it's been so cool because the person, they had their own idea and vision of what they wanted to do or promote or how they wanted to do stuff. And so I'm all for it. I'm not going to say, no, you have to promote this. Like, hey, if that's what you want to do, cool. Here's how we can get it going. And this was end of October, early November. So just in those 3 months from never making a TikTok video ever, they changed their name, put a photo on, over 3,000 followers right now. And it's all specific to his niche, right? And he's one of those people where I said, hey, this is how I would do it. Like, you kind of need to narrow down your content. So people so TikTok knows this is kind of like the people they pushed out to. And next thing I know, dude, they just started cranking stuff out. You know what I mean? Like, it was just cool that I'd see them popping up on my page. And
it's a cool success story in a way.
Yeah. And so his vision of what he wants is different. They messaged me last week actually and said, because I saw one of their videos, I commented and said something. Then he messaged me personally and just said, hey, like, I know we haven't done a call in a while because it's been over.
Yeah.
And he said, I haven't been stressing to get stuff going because with another thing he does, he said, making a couple $1,000s a month with the other thing he's doing, which is what we're trying to find a way to monetize it more.
Right.
So he said, I'm not really in a rush. My goal is once I hit X amount of followers on TikTok, which I'm sure they'll hit soon. He said, then let's schedule a call. If I have to, reinvest to get another 2 months or 3 months with you, because I know I can't just keep hopping on these 2-hour Zoom calls with you for your charge, whatever. Right. I'll do it. But it's just cool to see that.
Yeah, it's good to watch them progress, and you've helped them along.
Build the relationships. Like that's, again, like I mentioned earlier, in my business, I guess corporate world, the biggest thing I've learned is relationships and networking, and it is the exact same thing online for me, right? I'm pretty sure every personal this sun, sorry, this
sun's in your
sun
eyes.
is like
Eh?
right in my face. These blinds are not the best. Let me see if I can, there we go. So, but every like what I consider, I guess, a high ticket sale or personal client coaching, something like that, that I've closed has been through several conversations and
Channels,
building relationships with people. I mean, some of them it's really cool because I know what's going on like in their life, right? Like I know somebody
Well,
that's
yeah,
got
you know, I'm a bit more personal than just
uh,
sort of someone that comes along and you spoke to for 5 minutes.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I know what's going on. Like they just found out they're pregnant, another baby on the way, or what's going on with their, brick and mortar business that they have, or just things like that, right? Or I mean, one of them, we were talking over the weekend about music, right? Like I don't even know how we got on that topic, but
If you were sitting in the same position, you wonder how you got onto the topic of music. There's a guitar hanging in your background.
Yeah.
So they must, straight away they know you like music.
But like it was just funny. We found out like we have very similar tastes in music and stuff like that. So then next thing I know, I woke up Saturday morning and they sent me a YouTube of like a live video of one of the bands we like and how they're trying to go buy tickets to see them. And so then, but that's the thing. It's not every conversation, every business. It's like, you got to understand, like, there are people too. I'm a person, like we have our family lives, we have our personal lives. And I personally feel like when you know more stuff like that about people, it helps you as a way to like motivate them and see stuff from a different outside view. Like, hey, you just need to shut your phone off today and take a break. Online,
sometimes
like,
people get to
don't get on your computer, like enjoy some time with your wife and your kids and go, because I need that too, right? And I have to have people hound me on that as well. And say, dude, like take a break, right?
Just take 5 for a bit and then come back with a vengeance in a way.
A vengeance. And like sometimes for me, if I even just step away for 20 minutes, if I feel like I'm stuck, or like the creative juices aren't flowing, sometimes if I just step away for 20 minutes and then come and sit back down, then it's just like, recharge a little bit. Yeah.
So with your business, and so where do you see yourself being in maybe a couple of years' time?
Oh man,
is that a long way? What would you say about a year's time there? Because obviously you sound like you move quite fast. Well, and what you're doing, you're quite, you say stubborn, but you're assertive as well. Well, I'm going to do this, you do it. And you're going to do this, and you do it. You sort of don't second guess it.
Well, I've moved fast because, again, a lot of the people I've surrounded myself with that are successful, I've been told over and over, like, nothing will be perfect, right? You're never going to have a perfect funnel. You're never going to have a perfect email. Like, you have to move with speed and just take imperfect action. And if you screw stuff up, tweak it next time, keep doing it. Because that's just how it has to be. Because if you're going to keep thinking things are perfect, it's never going to be perfect, and you're never going to
put it out. Yeah.
So just do it, right? And even when I was hesitant, like uncomfortable or nervous to do stuff, that's when in the back of my head, I have to know this is exactly when I should probably be doing this, right? Because if I wasn't like that, I got to get uncomfortable and do these things, right?
Out your comfort zone a bit, because it progresses you a bit more.
Yeah. So I guess in a few years, where I would really like to see it is be full-time online entrepreneur, leave that job that I'm currently in, even though it's been great. It's just, oh gosh.
Is your plan to basically for your online business to replace your your career? Yeah.
100%. 100%. Because for so many reasons, right? Like, things can come up with our son. We want to have another child. Just being able to, I grew up, my dad coached me in sports growing up, like a lot of sport. I want to be able to do the same thing, right? I don't want to have to be worried about, am I going to have this event, or is work going to let me be able to leave early so I can pick him up and go to baseball practice? Like, I just don't want that. But I would love to continue to grow my Facebook group and community. I'm getting ready to release like another private community for people that are within my, I guess, coaching and program.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting ready. Again, I've been working on it for a couple months now to hopefully start revealing more of that this week.
Right. You're working towards that, yeah?
I would love to have that going, and kind of my own. I like to be hands-on and talk with, like people say, hey, I want the passive income where I can just sit back, do nothing, and I'm making all this money, right? So to a degree, yes, I would like to have that, maybe some kind of, evergreen course or some program there where people can hop in, whether it's low ticket, whatever, but something to where
you can serve people at a auto level in a way, on auto.
Yes. And so, helping, but the main thing is I've been trying to build up these digital assets of stuff where I know from feedback I get from people where they struggle, what they don't like, what they do like, and using my own personal experiences, right? And so just building out like my own vault of stuff that I can use to help people. But I like the personal interaction and stuff too. So I would love to continue to do like my have people within my program doing my weekly calls, the private chat with them, and just be constantly trying to help people grow what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then, throughout that, if I need to, people want something else in addition to that, or maybe they just don't want that and they say, hey, I just want a course or whatever, I can give them options of what I think would be a good fit for them. But ultimately, I look at it too as like I need to create my own digital assets. Other people call it like intellectual property because, what if all these other programs, I mean, chances of this happening are very slim, but like what if SAA and Freedom Breakthrough and Legendary Marketer and the new one I've been seeing everywhere, the List Lion or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Like what if all these things we woke up next week and they were all just gone?
True.
Then what would you
This is what I think. Yeah. You're sort of, this is why the done for you systems I don't sort of agree with. People say, hey, it's all done for you. Okay, so it's done for you. Where it goes, you don't know what to do then. You want something that's going to teach you how to do it. There's
been that there's a guy in my group, super nice guy. And if I'm being honest, when they were first in my Facebook group, I thought they had a bad, just from the post, and it's hard to see the emotion and stuff behind this text on a screen, right? So when I'm reading a message or post in my group, I'm trying to read it like from their perspective, but I don't really know that, like what tone of voice, what emotion.
Yeah.
It's tough, right? And so, but the way it came into my brain is this person's just pissed off, like, they're not seeing results, or obviously not doing something. They're going to talk smack to everybody else. So then I actually started talking to the person to figure out like, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah.
They joined some program I had never heard of. And I tried to Google it, still couldn't find it. So I don't know if the person got duped or what, but it was like 2-in-1, pay this and you get access to both of these. And we give you the funnel on this site. So from the way I understood it is he bought a domain, but then like he connected it on to their platform or site. And so then they gave him like the landing page with his domain connected. And then they scattered his affiliate links in there, but so it was all like done for you. We do it, but you pay, but you have to pay for the monthly software. And then like, we'll automatically, when people opt in, we'll send the emails or something along those lines. It was a done for you. Right.
Yeah, we'll do it all for you. Don't worry.
There's costs associated with it, right? So then obviously they were trying to get their own traffic as well through social media and content. But then it got to the point where no result, not even getting leads, right? But they were supposed to be helping them with all this, right?
Yeah.
So when I was asking, well, what were they, have they taught you? What are they, what platforms did they try and tell you?
Yeah, did not give you a bit of intel of what's happening.
There was nothing there, right? It was just, no, we'll do it for you. But yet you have to pay X amount every month. And so after so many months that he had to get rid of it because, hey, I'm out X amount of money now after 4 months.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any progress whatsoever.
So when I heard that, I completely understood the guy's frustration.
Right.
So then he had stopped paying because he just couldn't afford it anymore. And then because it was a done for you, you use our stuff. Once he stopped paying, then that link on his social media didn't do anything. It led nowhere. You know what I mean? So then he didn't even have a landing page. He didn't have
had nothing.
Then he was stuck with nothing. And to make it worse, there was nothing he learned by being a part of it, right?
Yeah.
So I've been helping the person. And right now he bought a new domain. And we connected it. Like I helped him. I gave him free options of how he can get going. And he is a part of like one of the lower level programs. So he can promote stuff and he's in it. So he knows about it. So I gave him options of free email responder where you can build landing pages and stuff like that. And we got him set up. He's got a link in there, free, no monthly, costs right now really at all. And just in the last week, he's gotten like 20 leads.
I've seen some progress already. Good on him.
He's getting some traffic. But the biggest, coolest thing about it is he's actually learning stuff. Like he had me peep it out. Like he built his own landing page, right? He connected the domain.
He's proud of it as well then,
Yes. So all of stuff that he never learned in the other program. They just, hey, give the money, we'll do it. But then it's like, what if you leave? Exactly what happened? Like you don't know how to do anything. Like that's the whole thing. You need to be learning the skills, not just paying, hoping.
Future proof yourself in case it happens again.
It's essentially like you're better off throwing money in the stock market.
Well, I don't know. The stock market, it might go up or down. So at least you've got some sort of asset there. But by the sounds of it, these guys just took his money and ran. And
so, and that's, again, I don't want to like talk bad about programs, but I want to, that's for me why it took me so long to finally invest in this stuff. Because
this is why you seen what's wrong with the industry and putting something out there to fix it, which is fantastic.
So for some reason, I'm a big skeptic on, I know people can do paid ads, but I've seen one too, where like, oh, you can go on these websites and you can buy traffic. Or like, or there's one like buy traffic where it says they will send, like this person has 50,000 people on their email list. And like, I don't know how it works. I don't know if I don't
understand how it works, because surely you would invest to be able to be an affiliate for a product and send that traffic there yourself.
I don't. But it's a real.
I can't work it out myself. No,
it's a real thing. Somebody sent it to me the other day and said, "What are your thoughts?" And I told them my opinion of I would not do that.
Logic wise,
I don't know where those. That person might have an email list, but then when they start getting emails from you, they're going to be like, "Well, what the heck is this? I didn't know." Then they're going to unsubscribe or. So when you have those programs that say we send traffic to your links for you, and we have lists built up, I don't trust it. It seems weird.
It's just you got to sometimes, if it's too good to be true, it normally is. This is the thing.
You're not really building your own following brand. Like you have your podcast. I'm sure you have people that tune into this that want to listen to this and want to be a part of your group and stuff. Like that's what you're trying to do, right?
It's someone that knows you. They see a face related to it.
And it's the same way I started my Facebook group, and I was nervous as shit to start it. And one of my first mentors told me, like, you just got to do it, dude. Like, do it.
Jump in the deep end,
And then once I've gotten my group going, now I see like, okay, this is great. You know what I mean? Like getting to know the people in my group, seeing them hop on my lives, and I know who they are, having conversations with them, knowing where they're at.
It's like your own little pub.
Yes. I call it my,
if you call it over there, we call it a pub over here.
I call it my like home base. That's where I try to, get my people. And that it's just a lot easier to bring value to them there as well too, whether it's Facebook Lives or where I make my posts, because TikTok's good and all, I guess, for getting engagement. But honestly, I try to get people off of TikTok onto Facebook.
Into the Facebook group, where you funnel them all into. So for people that maybe listen to this or watching this and thinking they might ask you a few questions or just ask you a bit of advice, where would be the best place for them to find you?
Facebook. So either my profile, Well, yeah, go to my profile.
Yeah,
Go there.
if we leave a link in the show notes to your profile, they can find you straight from there and then dive into Matt from there.
I can send you. You want me to put it in the chat or send it to you, like my link for my Facebook profile?
Well, no, I'll put it sent live, so it doesn't matter. So I don't do these podcasts live. I'll get it off your profile.
So either way, go to my profile, and then on my profile, you can get into my Facebook group.
Right.
And there's 3 little questions on there. They're like multiple choice. And I ask those so I can get a better idea of like where you're at in your online journey. What are you looking for in the group? Again, that just helps me know where you're at, because some people are at different stages in their journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I know not everybody's not in the same place. So it just helps me get a little more understanding of where you are at, or if you're a complete beginner, been doing this a few years, but it helps me out as well. And also creating my content, knowing
it helps you help them.
Exactly.
In a way,
so you'll see question 1. I even say, don't answer these questions you don't get in. And a lot of that's to prevent spammers as well.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people online. Yeah.
I decline a lot of people because I can just tell by certain stuff and looking at their profile. And
they don't fill half of it in. That's why, do they? A lot of them.
Yeah.
Do you agree to the rules? No response. You're like, well, there's no point.
Yeah. Well, they're going the method of, I'm going to try and hop in all these groups and then spam all these members.
Basically, yeah.
And so I try to do my best to prevent that. It can be difficult at times, but the questions help that, and they also help me help you. So click, go to my profile, and then you'll see my Facebook group, and then hop in there. I go live every week on Friday nights, and if I'm able to, I'll go live more than that, just sporadically. Like if I have an idea or something that I just encountered that I want to share, whatever. And then I have like probably 10 or 12 hours of stuff saved in the guide section.
So I can dive right into you then.
Yeah. So I just encourage people to be active in there. Like if you don't know, just ask questions, connect with people. That was one of the big things I regret, and I guess live and learn. But when I started in 2019, I didn't join any of the group stuff like that because I was so skeptical and hesitant to trust anybody. People are trying to screw me over, whatever. I didn't hop in any of these groups. I think the only group I was in was the ClickFunnels group. And that, that has like 30, 40,000, a lot of them. So then it was just, I was overwhelmed with notifications, people that are sitting there showing they, made 500,000 this year. And here I am just trying to make $5.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, this is, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I should even be in this group. Right. So, just be active in the group.
Just ask the questions. Even if you think, like, I want to make $5, put there, I want to make $5. Ask the questions. Someone's bound to help.
Oh yeah. And that's what's cool is I have enough members in there now to where, like somebody posted this morning and I could already see other people in the group had kind of responded.
Right. So you have people in your group that are all at different stages already then?
Yeah, definitely. I have a couple of my, mentors and coaches and stuff in the group as well. So there's just a lot of people in there at various different stages. There's people that
there's always someone there to help.
Yeah. And like, again, not all of us do the exact same strategy, the exact same. Yeah. There's some people that only do Facebook organic. Some people that do all platforms, but they do very well on their YouTube channel and monetize a YouTube channel. So there's so many different people and different things on there. But I just try and help people again, where they're at, whether that's getting out and starting going from the basics, connecting a domain. And because if you don't know how to do that, it can be confusing. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely. Sometimes things sound so easy. Like if you just got someone to give you a helping hand, then it makes it a lot simpler.
Yeah.
So my last question
go
for
ahead.
yourself is, have you broke the chains to your 9 to 5?
Does that mean quitting it?
Well, do you feel like you're chained to your 9 to 5? That's a good question, actually, back.
No,
it doesn't mean quitting it. It means, because you obviously you were tied to your 9 to 5. You thought, I've got to do this 9 to 5. You've got to do this. Do you feel like that now, or do you feel like, I can see the end goal?
I would say yes, I've broken the chain. And the reason why I say that is 2 or 3 years ago when I lost that job suddenly, I had that, oh shit moment. What am I going to do now? Right. I have mortgage and I have zero income coming in now. I get one more check and then what? Right. Whereas if I lost my full-time job today, I'd be able to still pay bills.
You've got a backup plan.
You know what I mean? Like I would not be flipping out. I would not be stressed I might have a little stress because I just wish the income was more.
Yeah.
You always wish it was more.
Yeah.
But I would say in that sense, yes, I have broke the 9 to 5 because I essentially have duplicated like a full-time income already to where if that was taken away, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Right?
You've got a plan B that's going to sooner or later turn into a plan A by the sounds of it.
I have some, I'm excited for this year, man. I have some big goals and again, it's not just like my goals. Like I have my goals I want to help people like hit their goals. Like that's the cool part about it, right? Is, I want to help other, like, cause I helped someone get their first high ticket commission. They got it, I think beginning of this month. And it was like the coolest. When I saw the screenshot, like I took a picture and I sent it to them.
Like a proud dad.
Like, yeah, dude, I was, well, cause I had seen the journey of it, right? Like frustrated, kind of wanting to give up, but just kept trucking, kept doing it. Then they finally, in my opinion, they hit that breakthrough where they were like, you know what? I'm going to be myself in my content. Right. And I'm just going to like authentically be me and bring in the people that want to, and that was kind of something we had discussed early on is quit trying to be like everybody else out there. Like just be yourself, unique, share your story. And I kept seeing that more and more in their content and then go figure, high ticket sale, which is enough to pay somebody's mortgage, like
exactly,
a high ticket sale. So that's the beauty. Like sometimes it just only takes one. And for a lot of people, $1,000 a month can help a lot.
Yeah. So by the sounds of it, for this year, that's one of many that you're aiming towards.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
Brilliant. Well, Matt, thank you very much for coming on the Break Your Chains from 9 to 5 podcast. It's been great you've been on.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I had fun.
Cheers.